Shalom Ubrachot. Today is the 28th of December, 2014, and I'm doing show and tell with my art project. So on November 22nd, I had a really beautiful dream. It was very Lewis Carroll. I came upon a door that was slightly open, and I pushed the door open and went in to a beautiful garden. It was really prehistoric looking with massive ferns, greenery, just green as you can imagine green. So when I woke up, I decided to make this thing. So the door, first I'm going to deconstruct it and then I'm going to reconstruct it. The door is made from balsa wood, which comes like this, and like this, and like this. And I cut the balsa wood with this tool. The royal blue paint I used straight out of the jar, and the brown for the woods I mixed that myself. Craft paint. I used a stipple brush because I liked the bristles, although I did not stipple the paint. For the garden, I took photographs of vegetation and I superimposed one on top of another with a certain degree of transparency. So I ended up with this, which I really love, but it's this whole thing is such a meager representation of the beautiful thing I saw in my mind's eye. The wall that the door is set into, in the dream it was just like a nondescript neutral beige, but I couldn't figure out how to do that without a saw. Like, I was thinking I would make on a birchwood base, and then I could like cut out the door, and it's just too complicated. So I went with wallpaper. So the wallpaper is the only thing that I didn't make myself. So it took me 5 weeks to figure out how to assemble this thing, to gather the ingredients, and then to carve out the time to actually sit down and make the door. So, the door. In the dream, the door was massive. My eyesight came up to the knob. So, like, this would be the height of a human being. And you can see that at one time, it was both locked and chained. But when I came to the door, it was open. I did not break into the door. Now, I may have broken in on a previous dream, but I don't remember that. So this is how the door works. And at first I was just going to have false hinges that were maybe painted on or beads that were glued on. But I did figure out that I could actually put real hinges on the door. I would have loved to have a decorative hinge, like for a dollhouse, but my local shops didn't have anything like that. So, and also the hardware in the dream had a black patina from age. And there are products that make that, but I wanted to finish the thing before I was 95 years old. So, let me just prop the door open. Okay, so the flaw in the design actually is the frame. If this thing got a layer of dust on it, it can't be cleaned. So it needs a shadow box. And in an ideal world, it would be a lucite shadow box. But the last time I had something custom framed, it cost me $100. So lucite is much more money than that. So instead, I bought the deepest shadow box I could find on sale for $18, far less money. And that's why it's this small size, 10 by 10. Because this is the size of the shadow box, and the door needed to be really massive. I remember like looking at it, wondering if I could even move it because it looked so heavy. So I got a 10 by 10 shadow box. So I'm going to prop the door open, secrecy, and afterwards, like after I show it, when I reassemble it, I'm going to actually have the door held open. Okay, so the effect with the shadow box is like this. Whoops, well, that didn't work. But the door opens and you can see the garden. Looks kind of cool, actually. Let's put the Sukazi back in here. So yeah, lucite box would have been really awesome, but you know, can't have everything. That's my art project. Okay. Thank you for watching. I apologize for the very poor quality of the video. And go make some art.